once again. AD on the radio.
It's you and the senorita woofer blowing up the tweeter cause it's me up in the speaker. Back in the mama seat, top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme say. Running game like a cheater, I'm balling like a
So, Funkhauser,
Oh, yeah?
I got some depressing news today.
Oh, you gotta start with depression?
Well, it wasn't, it's not my fault. It's Lisa, who listens to the show all the time. And
What's going on here?
Lisa, who listens to the show all the time, and we love her. And by the way, unless I'm very much mistaken, unless I'm confused, like, don't you find it hard to keep track of who the hell is who in this day and age? In terms of like everybody's different social media handles, like some people are different on Facebook to what they are on Twitter to what they are on Snapchat to what they are on Instagram. And if people could make a concerted effort to have the same screen name across all the platforms, that would be very helpful. I think. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of drives me a little bit crazy because, well, I think this is the same Lisa. I think Lisa. If I'm remembering the Snapchat correctly, and Snapchat goes away quickly, so you can't go back and check. But I believe Lisa just got engaged over the holiday. So congratulations to Lisa, and congratulations to the guy that liked it, so he put a ring on it. Are you?
Unacceptable.
It's rude, Funkhauser. I know that now she's been taken out of the equation. I know she's been taken out of the equation. You feel depressed that you never got a crack at it, but you should be happy for her. So let's have a nice round of applause for Lisa and her engagement.
Okay, I guess. Fine.
There you go. Save your unhappy sound effects for the piece of news that Lisa tweeted me. She tweeted me a link to this new list that came out of the top 10 most stressful jobs.
I'm going home.
We're in there.
Yeah.
Like, everybody thinks we're just goofing off, picking our toenails, playing Metallica records, not really giving a crap about anything, showing up to work in our pajamas. And, well, that side of it is true. But in at number 8 for the 10 most stressful jobs that exist, broadcaster. The hell are we doing, Funkhauser?
I don't know. Just trying to get through, I guess. But
yeah. Broadcaster. And apparently there's other journalism jobs on this list that have seen better days, but broadcasters have to deal with many of the same stressors as newspaper folks and magazine folks, their print counterparts. We have to deal with deadlines, scooping the competition on breaking news and breaking content, and always working in the public eye. That's true. The public eye thing is a weird thing because, like, you go on the radio and you talk to people like you're their best friend. And in the case of a show like this, well, the people that, interact with us, I really do feel like they're kind of our friends, especially the hardcore or old OGs. People like Lisa, people like Carmen.
All the pizza drivers we met this week.
Yeah, people like the Sheltons. Thank you, pizza drivers that didn't stab us because we complained our Domino's was late. That was nice. Yeah. And those people are sort of like cool, but then there's this weird thing. And I think people that play professional sports get this as well. Now, here's the thing. Professional sports people are adequately compensated for this sort of stress. But there's this thing where if you're on the radio, it's sort of like your public property. Like people feel like it's an elected position and you're not serving the community the way you should be when you're not playing enough deep cuts off of Ride the Lightning by Metallica, and they feel like it's perfectly acceptable to come up to you in the grocery store and protest it.
How come you don't play that song?
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember, and people are like, are you like kind of famous? I'm like, no, famous is useful. Ever since blogging came about in radio, ever since it became like this big thing that we get blog hits. We build the digital presence of our radio stations. Nobody knew what the hell we looked like before, but now you go to the blog, like, I don't know, my blog got a few million hits over the last 6 months, and every single one of those million hits involves a person going to my blog and seeing a picture of my face. So people know what you look like now in a way that they didn't used to.
I hate it.
And now that means that when you're in the grocery store, feeling like crap, looking like crap, trying to get on with your life, somebody can come up to you and be like, hey, give a rest. Give a rest to, the songs you're playing off of Ride the Lightning and play some better Metallica. This is an actual conversation. This is an actual conversation I had to someone. Oh, my God. I got the best email from someone who listens to The Buzz that will explain why a job as a broadcaster is so stressful. I'll read that out maybe a little later on in the show. But yeah, broadcaster, the 8th most stressful profession it's possible to have in this day and age.
Oh,
yeah.
Was it 8th or 4th? I thought it was 4th.
Well, on this list, it's 8th. I'm sure there's all sorts of lists. But it's in there. It's in the top freaking 10, no matter which way you slice it. And it says, many in this field, oh, hello, Funkhauser, also do all that for underwhelming pay.
Yay!
And the specter of a declining job market is what it says here. Boy,
it's
sure
declining
would be handy.
negative 11%, by the way.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says here. You looking at the same article?
No, I just know that by heart.
You just know that by it's a reality that you live with every day. You know what would make it easier for us, Funkhauser, to manage financially in this industry that's declining by 11%? You know what would make it a lot easier?
What? Money?
We can't enter to win this, but $1,000 in cash. Start the year off right, cash in, win $1,000. Listen to Real Radio 104.1 on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Text the keyword you hear to 45495 for your chance to win. New keyword announced each hour, giving you another chance to win. More info at realradio.fm.
Hot 2, hot 3, hot AZ from your radio live and uncut. Tonight, you're cutting loose and having fun. Cause that's my job, and my job's about to get done. Yeah, that's how I'm operating. And I thank motherfucker for cooperating. When I say, put your hands up, touch the sky. If you're really feeling really good, then wave them from side to side. It's time for a little rebellion. And this hellion in front of you is telling you the things you gotta do. Check 1, 2, is this thing live? Cause it's time for the party and the first stage dive. Hey, ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Say ho, 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 whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Every day we're going and working, running the rat race in that pace, in that place. We'll leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So, buddy, I gotta say that there has gotta be a better way. Work every day. Real Radio 104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio.
I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace, in that place. We'll leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say, for you, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya, company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure? Before it's begun, your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want, when I
So I'm trying to figure out if I should pull back the curtain a little bit on how, as someone that programs a radio station, I'm trying to figure out if I should pull back the curtain a little bit on how things work. And because I got this tremendous series of messages from a listener basically putting me and everybody that works at the station on blast and telling us how we should be running a radio station. Do it. And you think I should? Is that something people would actually be interested in hearing?
I think.
Do you think? Well, you know what? We'll put it out to our friends on Twitter. Tweet us at ADSXE, at FunkFM. If you want me to read the complaint that I got about one of the radio stations I work for on the air, I'll do that.
Dear
and
sir.
we'll get to it later. Yeah, no, it's not even.
I am quite
dear
perplexed.
I'll just give you the first. Let me just give you the first line of the email. Y'all play the worst weak songs of all time. Fake ass radios, biggest sellout fake ass radio station in America. That was his opening salvo, and then he offered me some advice on how I could improve the situation. So yeah, if people want to hear more of that, and then hear if I could be bothered what my explanation to this guy would be, we'll get into that a little later on in the show. I just feel like it might be inside baseball. So yeah, you want to hear it? Let me know at ADSXE or at Funk FM is where you can tweet us. You know what I thought would be kind of interesting today to talk about a little bit in the show? You know how there's these like growing tensions? Well, not growing. They're there. Maybe they are growing. They've existed for a while. They've become painfully obvious recently. The tensions between police and civilians in America. A lot of it having to do with accusations of racism. Now, look, I'm not saying we live in a perfect world. I'm not saying the racism doesn't exist. I'm not saying there aren't cops that are way the hell out of line. But if you wanted to do something about this situation, Funkhauser, if you wanted to do something about the racial tensions between cops and civilians, would you advise that people should throw rocks, bricks, and bottles at the police when they come to their neighborhood? Does that sound like a good solution to you?
Never.
No, not so much. Yet it's been suggested by an elected official. This is our tax dollars at work. Yeah. Which elected official is advising constituents to throw rocks, bricks, and bottles at cops when they come to town? We'll get into that a little later on in the show. Right now, though, let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News, in no way, shape, or form fair. Certainly not balanced. Funkhauser, how are you, and what is going on in the world?
Didn't have to take a shower this morning. You know why?
Oh, right. Why?
Mother Nature.
What is the name of that storm? Perhaps Chris Farley had something to say about it back in the day. What is the name of that storm?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I am El Niño. All other tropical storms must bow before El Niño. Yo soy El Niño. For those of you who don't habla español, El Niño is Spanish for the Niño.
So, yeah, Funkhauser, you haven't had to shower because of the Niño.
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, glad to hear it. We'll talk a little bit about what I've learned about El Niño.
Florida's
on,
like,
right?
El Niño, we get tropical storms like every day.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing.
Florida's like, you rain wusses. Like, and same with the people that are listening in Texas. It's like, if you've lived down, it's so funny. Like, when I first got to California and New York, the East Coast gets beat the hell up with various storms. It's not like the storms you get down in the dirty in the South, but we know what hurricanes are all about. We know what storms are all about. Like, New York East Coasters are used to dealing with this. But, it's so funny. When I first started spending more of my time in San Diego for the station that I'm working for there was a storm. Like, one day, it wasn't the Niño, but there was a storm. And the guy who's down the hall from me at the Classic Rock station, who is a lifelong San Diegan, he was like, dude, did you see that? I was like, yeah, it was raining. I know, shocker, right? And he was like, no, the rain was coming down at an angle. Like, he was like, there was rain and wind at the same time to where it was coming down at an angle. And this was like, whoa. This was like big news to him. It was crazy. Californians not so much prepared for their precipitation. But anyways, yeah, we'll discuss the ramifications of the Niño later on in the show. What else is happening in the world, Funkhauser?
4 new elements have been added to the periodic table.
Yes. Yeah, saw this. You think it's all been done? You think there's nothing new to be discovered? You think that all the ground has been well worn that stretches out before you? But in the world of science, there are always new discoveries to be made. Evidenced by the fact that there are now 4 new elements that have been added to the periodic table. All that studying you did in 8th grade biology or 8th grade chemistry or whatever the hell it was you were taking to try and memorize all the elements in the periodic table, that point is now moot in your educational history. There's new elements in the periodic table. Great! Now all the hipster chemists are going to complain that the periodic table was way better with the original lineup.
With the H-Town jam, came to the city with a master plan. H-Town, I'm return to the land of the Astrodome. People criticize by TV Johnny, treat you the same if you don't got money. No one hardly ever gonna look at you funny. 8 days out of 10, it is always sunny. 7 to the 1, 1 to the 2. Come on everybody, let the city for me. 7 to the 1, 1 to the 3. Come on everybody, let the city for me. Whoa, 713, whoa, 713, whoa. kid from the 212. From New York City, so gritty, I'm steady coming at you. But I got that south in my mouth, I immigrated, I made it. And in the H I can shine, in NYC I was faded. New York to H out is a move I make. East Coast to...
Hi, this is Cole, the high school junior with the freakishly deep voice. You're listening to AD on iHeartRadio.
Like most kids from a privileged white upper-middle-class suburban background, for a significant portion of his childhood, he was pretty convinced he was down. AD on the radio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time.
All right, so overwhelmingly, it's come back on Twitter that people want us to break down the fourth wall and read this guy's complaint on the air, and I can explain how music radio stations work. This is the complaint that starts...
What's going on here?
You play the worst weak played out songs of all time. Biggest sellout fake ass radio station in America. And then he offers some thoughtful commentary about how we could be better. So we'll read the entirety of this guy's email a little later on in the show, and I will break down that fourth radio wall and explain to people how we try and make as many folks as possible happy. Right now, though, let's continue with the news in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. Also, we got to get into the elected official that advised his constituents to throw rocks, bottles, and other things that would potentially hurt at cops when they come to town.
What is this, 1960?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Go on.
More companies in Sweden are now switching to a 6-hour workday.
Yeah, yep. What do you make of that, Funkhauser? 6-hour workday.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. I'm doing the math, comparing the Swedish workday to my workday, and going like, well, 6 hours is less than the 14 that I typically spend working, so I like that better. And I think they agree to come in like 5 days a week. Well, Funkhauser and I tend to work 7 days a week. I think a lot of the time. I've got 2 live broadcasts this weekend, and I will not get what is commonly referred to as a day off. I'm not complaining. This is part of the life I signed up for. But when you compare it to Swedish folks working 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, as opposed to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, well, that sounds attractive.
I think the Swedish word for work is snooze.
Very good. Very good. And speaking of Swedish companies and 6 hours, that's exactly how long it took me to assemble an IKEA coffee table over the weekend. Go on.
New York is turning phone booths into Wi-Fi hotspots.
You know, I was thinking this just the other day. Not the thing about Wi-Fi hotspots, but I saw a payphone. I was like, whoa! Relic from a bygone era, but they're still out there. And I was like, what is the point of a payphone?
I know what the point is, to get influenza.
Yeah. To get every homeless person's disease possible all in one shot. No, I looked at it and I was like, why do we still have those things? Why? What's the point? And then I was like, Funkhauser, when was the last time you used a payphone or a phone booth?
Long time. 10 years? 15?
Yeah, you put a quarter in a phone booth. You put a quarter in a payphone and made a telephone call. Or did you did you use
beep boop boop beep?
Yeah.
Beep. Actually,
dial tone. Now you can dial because the tone is there.
We actually have a payphone here in the studio. Should I try it?
Sure, go for it.
Let me see here. Let me put this in here and then. Okay. Hold on here. Let's get it
Expanded
activated.
Announcement system.
How much does a phone call take now?
Well, in these functions, press star once to hear the last menu. Press star.
The thing says 10 cents per phone call. But
menus. Press number sign.
I'm already.
All right. So, yeah. Thank you.
That's why we don't use payphones anymore.
I was looking at the payphone. I was like, well, say your cell phone isn't working for whatever reason. You break it, you drop it, the battery's dead, and you absolutely need to make a call. I suppose it's useful to have a payphone there in an emergency. And then I was like, there's so few payphones out there anymore. What is the likelihood of you having an emergency in the nearby vicinity of a payphone? Almost none. So I saw this. Do you think this is something that would work? New York, like Funkhauser said, is turning phone booths into Wi-Fi hotspots. That's what they're doing with the phone booths in New York City, which I imagine is, well, I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's something other cities should adopt, but I would imagine it's great news for everyone who's ever wanted to experience the fun of surfing the web, whilst, and at the same time, standing in a homeless dude's toilet. So there's that. Yay, progress. Go on.
Apple will reduce iPhone production by 30%.
Yeah. Yep. The news caused Apple stock to plunge from something that you can't afford to something that you still can't afford. Go on.
Hillary Clinton says if she's...
Clinton. Is that from The Simpsons? It is.
Yeah.
Like those aliens come to Earth and they're like, Clinton.
Yes. I am Clinton. Vote for Clinton. I, too, am Clinton. Hillary Clinton says if she's elected, she'll try to find out if aliens exist.
Yeah. I think she said something like that's the number one sort of like request.
From outer space or...
No. The number one request that the Clinton Presidential Library gets is for documentation of Area 51. Like, and I think that's how she kind of became aware that people really want to know a little bit more. And she's like, that's for military testing. That's what Area 51 is all about. And like, it's funny because she's talked about it, Bill Clinton's talked about it, like conspiracy theorists, Art Bell listeners, George Norrie listeners, folks like that are all about the fact that the Clintons believe in aliens. Like, there's a lot of blogs up about this on the internet if you want to go down that wormhole for an evening. But, so Hillary Clinton says if she's elected, she's going to try to find out if aliens exist. Nice try, Hill! Trump has the crackpot vote locked up. Too bad, so sad. I'm sorry. I would imagine that
Plus,
Hillary...
Doesn't Trump want to get rid of all the aliens? Isn't that it?
Yeah. I would imagine that Hillary hopes there are aliens because, well, she would want to learn their secret of keeping their existence quiet for so long. Would have been a huge help in the last year or so. Go on.
The People's Choice Awards aired last night.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
As a person, I made the choice to watch something else. Didn't see it.
As a human.
Gave it the big old misseroo. The big winner? Anybody that Netflixed and chilled instead. Go on.
Blue Ivy Carter turns 4 years old today. Who is that now?
Blue Ivy Carter. That is the child of Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Oh.
Blue Ivy Carter is 4 years old today, and if I know her parents, I'm sure her celebration will be a low-key affair, devoid of any extravagance or pretense. Go on.
George R.R. Martin is behind on his next Game of Thrones book.
Yeah. Yep. And, it's funny because, Game of Thrones has become this humongous thing on HBO. It's one of the biggest television happenings of the last decade or so. And he's not done writing, and they need for him to continue writing so that they can keep cranking out TV shows. And he's behind on it. Which is troublesome when you got a guy who's advancing in years. And I know for a fact some folks over at like HBO are like, you gotta keep writing and not dying, because this is a concern.
You should write a new song about him.
You gotta keep writing and not dying. But yeah, Martin's behind on the next Game of Thrones book. But it's cool. If you're a fan of nudity that is also gruesome on HBO, don't worry, you still have girls. Go, continue.
Not cool, dude. Rob Kardashian.
But I mean, like, look, what's it? Oh, I can't believe I can't remember her name. What the girl who is the hero of the story that wrote it all, and what's her name?
Oh, it'd be nice if I knew that too, but I don't. The lead of Girls?
The lead of Girls. Hold on. Wait. What's her name? What is her name?
To Google.
I can't believe. Lena Dunham. How did you forget this? Lena Dunham, like, I stand by my gruesome nudity comment with regard to Lena Dunham being naked on girls because, like, I think, the way she's gone about it is you could present her in an attractive, comely sort of way. You could present her. You could light her right. You could give her the right makeup, and you could make her smoking hot on TV. You've Funkhauser. You've dated off of the internet. you've seen people's Tinder profiles and gone out, met them in person, been like, this is not what I signed up for. You look way better online with camera, makeup, and lighting and things like that. So they could make her look however the hell they want to. But she has purposely gone for, as is described in Seinfeld, as bad naked on a regular basis. And I think, that adds to the reality of it. And I think it's kind of like a bold and interesting and realistic move. So I think when I say gruesome nudity on HBO, I think that's exactly what she's going for. She's going for bad, ugly naked on a regular basis. She could look smoking hot, but she's decided not to. Whoa. Go on.
Rob Kardashian is furious with Kim for making a joke about his weight on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah. Pretty insensitive of his sister, Kim, right as he's diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, to make jokes about his weight. Not cool, Kim Kardashian. Not cool at all to make fun of your brother, Rob Kardashian, who I'm going to guess is going to channel his anger right now by going for a jog. He's not going for a jog. Go on.
Tina Majorino from...
that's such a great last name. Like, oh, she's a Majorino babe. Go on.
She's from Napoleon Dynamite. She wears lingerie and goes topless in a new photo shoot.
Yeah.
I can't place her.
Tina Majorino from Napoleon Dynamite?
I can't place her. To Google we go.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I have really. She's like the love interest in Napoleon Dynamite. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I think one time.
Oh, okay. So if you're not like a Napoleon Dynamite fan, yeah. If you're not necessarily a Napoleon Dynamite fan,
there she is. Ooh la la.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. It's pretty flippin' sweet, but I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure that I feel all right about it. She was also in, what was she in? She was on Veronica Mars as well, and Big Love, and True Blood, and Grey's Anatomy. But she's always going to be...
those are all the shows I watch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm reading off of her IMDb now. Although I did watch Veronica Mars back in the day. It was sort of like hot chick noir detective stories, so I was into it. And it had the guy that played Elliot on Just Shoot Me, and I think he's funny, so I watched a little Veronica Mars back in the day. Not ashamed of it. And yeah, she was Deb from Napoleon Dynamite. She's pretty much naked, showing lots of skin in Annex magazine, and looks pretty amazing. She is now 30 years old. I don't know. Deb from Napoleon Dynamite, I don't know if I can handle this. Gonna have to look at these photos 2 or 3 dozen more times to figure it out. Go on.
Extensive research.
Flippin' sweet. Go on.
Tom Brady's personal chef says Brady's diet consists of about 80% vegetables.
Yeah, and unlike football, Brady doesn't cheat when it comes to his diet. Continue.
North Korea, tested a hydrogen bomb?
Yep. North Korea tested a hydrogen bomb.
Did you feel it?
Now, Kim Jong-un is threatening to use it if his demands aren't met. So, whatever you do, for the love of God, bring back the McRib, McDonald's. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think...
Where's our ambassador? What was his name?
Dennis Rodman?
There you go. Where's he at?
Yeah. Where's Dennis Rodman in all this? I want Rodman culpability in this instance. Do you see Obama was on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
That was a good one, yeah.
It was an interesting one for sure. And my favorite part was where he asked Obama, he's like, how many world leaders are just out of their freaking minds? And Obama was like, it's a high number. Go on.
Bernie Sanders wants Donald Trump to stop bringing up Bill Clinton's sex life.
Yeah, I agree. Unless he replaces it by bringing up Bernie Sanders' sex life. Then I say, carry on, Donald. I will never be able to squeegee that mental image out of my mind's eye. What else?
Paula Jones wants Hillary Clinton to apologize for her husband's past behavior.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. It's very interesting that the main stumbling block that Hillary Clinton campaign seems to be hitting at the moment has to do with her husband being a horn dog in the past. And someone, I'm not trying to mitigate the circumstances. A lot of people say he was a molesty and or rapey horn dog in the past, and that's the sort of thing that you have to treat seriously. But, yeah, no, that's the major stumbling block that the Clinton campaign's come up against. So far, Hillary Clinton's been tight-lipped, which is nothing new for her when it involves Bill.
You know you better be coming with something that's real to get ahead of me. Cause I'm keeping my record, it's undefeated. And I'm just speaking the facts, I'm not conceited. Cause my skills on the mic keep me paid like every day. It's like a weekend warrior in every way. I'm so totally awesome and you totally suck. And if you come in the battle, you're totally out of luck. You'll never get the best of me. You'll never get the best of me. You'll never get the best of me. And you're about to see.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
All right. So we have a lot of stuff that I want to try and get to today on the show. One final piece of news. Rick Ross, you know the rapper Rick Ross?
Oh, yeah.
He is
laid back
allegedly
music is what they say in his name.
Rick Ross is allegedly enjoying the physical attributes of a stripper. He's dating or getting it on with or expressing the horizontal adult type of affection that adults do in this situation with a stripper called, wait for it, and you spell it with a K, Strawberry. Rick Ross is dating a stripper called Strawberry. There's really nothing official on this. I got nothing more than that. I just wanted to pass that along so I can say the word Strawberry on the air. There's an elected official that's decided to advise his constituents to throw rocks and bricks and bottles at cops when they come into their neighborhood. This is our tax dollars at work, and we'll get into the full story right after we talk one final time about what, Funkhauser? I will need a lightning crash and some Chris Farley. What are we going to be talking about?
Oh, I am not prepared for this at all.
Get over back to the buttons.
Well, that one was over there at another whole other place. What are you talking about?
Less talky, more pressy.
Oh, jeez.
Wrong.
Okay, here.
I am El Niño.
Yes.
All other tropical storms must bow before El Niño. Yo soy El Niño. For those of you who don't habla español, El Niño is Spanish for the Niño.
Oh, God. So, yeah, with El Nino-fueled storms pounding the West Coast this week and mitigating Funkhauser's showering needs, thought it'd be a good time to give you a little bit more info on this powerful climate pattern. And these are the top interesting things that I've discovered about El Nino since doing a little research. You want to play some appropriate El Nino facts music, Funkhauser? There we go.
Sorry, I just opened the roof here.
Oh, open the window?
Yeah.
Really is theater of the mind, the radio that we do every single day. That's awesome. The top interesting facts about El Nino. Funkhauser uses it as an excuse to not shower. I use it as an excuse to skip jogging. Another thing I've learned about El Nino since doing my research is that if you want to be the most hilarious dude in your office, be sure to remind everybody that El Nino is Spanish for the Niño. And finally, the last thing I learned about El Nino is that Donald Trump says it's taking jobs away from hardworking American rainstorms.
That's a good one.
Thank you very much. All right, so, there is a hypnotic quality to the rain. I mean, I want you to shut the window. I mean, eventually.
Well,
But I could just listen to that all day long.
Let me stick my head out the window and close it.
Doesn't it make you want to curl up and take a nap? Oh, no, that part, not so much.
Yeah, let's all take a nap right now. We've got 4 minutes. Let's take a 4-minute nap.
4-minute nap? Yeah, I wish. All right, this is actually making me want to lie down and take a nap, so you're going to have to stop. Jackson, Mississippi. There's this councilman called Kenneth Stokes who doesn't want the cops coming into his district to chase criminals. This is what he told reporters. He told reporters that police from surrounding cities put Jackson children in danger when they chase people on neighborhood streets. Now, totally legitimate complaint. If this is actually happening, if cops, whether they're from Jackson or from neighboring cities, are coming into the neighborhood, chasing criminals and putting kids in danger, well, that's obviously not a good thing, and that's something that has to be dealt with. How he's proposing to deal with it is something that absolutely boggles my freaking mind. He said that he'd like black leadership to team up and use force. He said, and I quote, "What I suggest is we get," and I don't want to be one of those people that makes sweeping generalizations. That is the exact antithesis of what this show is about. We search for the truth. Things are not necessarily black. They're not white. They're not left. They're not right. In the middle is where there's an awful lot of gray. A simple narrative for simple people is not what this show is about. We believe in digging through the mire that is the gray. We believe in not subscribing to the simple narrative for simple people. We believe in looking into the gray, because the gray tends to be where you find the truth in a lot of issues, and we are dedicated when I said that he'd like black leadership to team up and use force. I'm quoting him directly. He said, "What I suggest is we get the black leadership together, and as these jurisdictions come into Jackson," by the way, getting leadership together, black, white, whatever, good idea. Getting the leadership together, fantastic. That's kind of how you deal with a lot of problems. But how he suggests it would go down is we get black leadership together, again, a direct quote, "and as these jurisdictions come into Jackson, we throw rocks and bricks and bottles at them. That will send a message that we don't want you in here." Really? How does he think that's going to end? See, last year, did a little digging around. Last year, there were a whole bunch of chases originating in other cities that ended in Jackson. The most recent chase that got the reaction from this councilman, this guy Stokes, involved a 49-year-old dude called Eric Singleton. And what he's accused of is this. He was accused of shoplifting at the Walmart in Richland, not far away, where cops say he assaulted two people in the parking lot before he dragged them across 4 parking spaces. By the way, did you know that it's been statistically proven that if you get a Walmart in your neighborhood, crime will increase? It's true. I don't know if you've experienced this firsthand, but I saw that statistic a little while ago, and I thought it was interesting. And then I thought to myself, well, who hasn't been driven into a murderous rage over deep discounts on a regular tube socks? But that's beside the point. Stokes, his councilman, said that the cops should not chase the criminals. He says that they could easily break off the chase, get the tag number. And he said, we will pay for whatever they stole. We want the same respect that they give their neighborhoods given to Jackson neighborhoods. Now, this is a serious issue. This is, possibly, and it's very hard to know the truth in these situations unless you're there on the ground. But is it possible that cops from neighboring cities, towns, coming into Jackson, tearing up the place and not giving it the same respect when they chase people over the town's borders? Yeah, very, very possible. But dealing with a situation by throwing rocks and bottles at cops when they roll through town, not so much. Madison County Sheriff Randy Tucker posted on Facebook saying, Stokes, I am your huckleberry. Law enforcement will not be intimidated by you. Any Madison County law enforcement that is attacked because of your ignorant statements, I'll hold you responsible. And I fully intend to contact the MS Attorney General and inquire if your statements constitute assaults on officers by threat. And I'm guessing they do.
That's why when I shuffle in, my coffee's already waiting for me. Breeze on the patio, outdoor table, sitting with my puppies, Homer and Mabel, wondering how the rest of the day will be. Just then the kid stops by and boobs, but definitely much less gangster.
Real radio. Real radio. Real radio. Real radio. 104.1.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
You know, of all the things that we talk about on this show, Funkhauser, you can never really be sure what's going to get the biggest reaction. And sometimes it's things that absolutely surprise you.
Really?
Yeah, Twitter feed's kind of blown up since I mentioned watching Veronica Mars. Did you watch that back in the day?
Whoa, man.
Nah.
Whoa.
Veronica Mars was awesome, and it was really a page turner. It was definitely, definitely aimed at, I guess, teenage and early 20-year-old girls. But at the time when I was a kid and I was watching it, I found it super compelling, like really well written, really cool. And since we mentioned that, I've gotten a whole bunch of tweets about it. Veronica Mars was awesome for modern noir, and it really is. It really is. And I watched it a little bit here and there back in the day, found it very compelling, and started binging it on Amazon a while back. I couldn't stick with it. Something else caught my eye, and I wound up moving to that.
Oh, excuse me. My phone's ringing. You keep talking.
Are you really? This isn't a bit?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
okay.
a real bit.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, hello, studio. Yeah. Hey. Your question? Okay. Right. Oh, no, we're not using that anymore. No,
ただいま留守にしております。ピースとなりましたら、お名前とご用件をお話しください。
No. Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Okay, as you were. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. Look, just because you haven't paid the bill at the local Asian rub and tug, I don't think you need to bring it onto the show.
Sorry. Oh, you guys heard that? Uh-oh.
Oh, no!
Carmen said Veronica Mars was awesome back in the day. I really liked it. Have you seen the movie yet? I haven't seen the movie because I need to finish binge watching it. But Veronica Mars had such an incredible cult following that I think they crowdfunded an entire movie for it. It was supposed to be really, really, really good. Anyhow. Things were kind of interesting over the holiday break in the world of potential presidential candidates. I don't know if you caught it or not, but the junior varsity presidential candidates, that field was narrowed a bit. Lindsey Graham, or Lindsey Grahamnesty, as we like to call him around here, dropped out. Pataki did as well. December 21st, Graham suspended his campaign. He went out swinging, though. He went down swinging in a web video to discuss his intention. He kind of sort of went full. Now, the definition of neocon has been bandied around, and I'm still not entirely sure that it means the same thing to everybody. But in my mind, he kind of went full-on neocon, saying 4 months ago at the very first debate, I said that any candidate who did not understand that we need more troops on the ground in Iraq and Syria to defeat ISIL was not ready to be commander-in-chief. At the time, no one stepped forward to join me. Today, most of my fellow candidates have come to recognize this is what we need to secure our homeland. So he bowed out of the presidential race, but not without a quick neener. Pataki dropped out of the race, but nobody really seemed to care. We got an interesting new candidate, pro-pot politician Gary Johnson. You hear about this guy, Funkhauser?
No, tell me all about him.
He announced on Wednesday he's seeking the Libertarian Party's 2016 presidential nomination. He's a former two-term GOP governor of New Mexico. He was the Libertarian nominee in 2012. He made the announcement on an interview on the Fox Business Network. He pitched himself as the fiscally conservative, socially liberal alternative to Democrats and Republicans in the race. Now, a lot of people are saying, hey, you're going to be pulling votes from the Republicans in the running. And he was like, that's just not the case. He said when it comes to libertarians draw as many votes from Democrats as they do Republicans. And like I said, I believe crony capitalism is alive and well. And it's Democrats and Republicans who contribute to that. And, he is kind of like he's the textbook definition of a libertarian in that he is fiscally conservative and socially liberal, meaning he's sort of like, it's funny. It's funny. Drew Carey is a libertarian, and he went on Craig Ferguson when no one had heard what a libertarian was, and defined himself as that. And Craig Ferguson is like, so for people who don't know, what is a libertarian? He's like, it's basically a Republican that still gets high. So, yeah, this guy falls into that category. He's a self-made millionaire. He's the former Cannabis Sativa Incorporated CEO. And like I said, ran back in 2012. And this past Monday, Cannabis Sativa Incorporated, the legal marijuana products company that he ran, announced that he had resigned as CEO to pursue political opportunities. Anyways. We'll wait and see how this all plays out. It's definitely an interesting one. Is it a real concern in this day and age? Let's be real here. I mean, politics is like football. Any given Sunday, you never really know what's going to happen, and that's the exciting part of it. But is he a real concern? No, but he definitely supplies some food for thought. That's for sure. All right, Funkhauser. People wanted me to peel back the curtain. People wanted me to drop the fourth wall and get into the world of radio just a little bit. I thought it was too inside baseball, but folks on Twitter have responded that they want to know. So I'm going to read this complaint letter. Is there good complaint letter music? I don't know.
Let's see if. Let me see. This isn't probably
no.
This might be good. No, keep moving.
Nah. No, this is make no mistake. That is awesome music, but maybe not the move. What else you got?
This is just
this is just great too. But again,
not for that. Okay, well, how about just a simple piano?
Do we have some sad piano music?
Not any more sad
I like this.
than this.
Let's go with the jazzy stuff. I like this. Let's roll with this. I won't give this guy's name.
Dear sirs.
These are the two messages I got from him. You play the worst, weak, played-out songs of all time. Biggest sellouts, fake-ass radio station in America. Learn how to play what your listeners want. I won't say what station he addressed this to because I don't want to throw this other guy under the bus, but he said, get rid of your morning guy. Send him back to where he came from. Get a true person that is from the town where this radio station is in on the air, and then watch your listeners start to follow, was what he said. So thank you for the thoughtful take on how we can improve things. And then there was one point where we played Banditos by the Refreshments, and he was like, hey, oh, it's a great song. He said, you just played, but not good enough for this guy. You just played Banditos by the Refreshments. Play the other songs they have, like Mekong or Nada. Those are better. Thank you. Also, start playing better songs. Deeper cuts. Quit sounding like every other radio station where you play the same songs. Grow some cojones and start playing songs where someone is listening to your station and they say, wow, I can't believe they know this rare track on the CD. I lived in Arizona for 8 years, and the station there was independent, and you could learn something from them. Quit playing the most popular single on a band's album and play other songs. If I hear Black by Pearl Jam one more time on your radio station, I'm going to mail you a bag of throw up, which is actually very good.
I want
imagery.
that bag, yeah.
Just FYI, not to seem overly pedantic, but Black by Pearl Jam was never actually a single.
Great
the record
tune.
label wanted, it's a great song, but it was never a single. That was one of those deep cuts that kind of took off. I think the record label wanted to make it a single, and not so much. Pearl Jam weren't into it, so that was actually never a single. Just FYI, again, not to seem overly pedantic. I'm gonna mail you a bag of throw up. Here we go. Be original. Quit settling for a second or third-rate radio station status. This station is the most... I don't know. He said we're settling for a second or third-rate radio station status. It's actually... the station that I'm on is the most listened-to radio station in the country of its kind. So second or third rate doesn't really apply when you're... what's the expression I'm looking for? Number one. Find out what other markets are doing and do the opposite. and your morning guy, he really seems to have a problem with him, needs rehab or something. I want a radio station that's different.
Number one.
Start elevating local acts. Well, do that every single week. Had a live showcase for
you guys do the thing for that, right? That's
yeah. We did. Every single radio station I've been a part of has actually stuck their neck out for local acts in a way that no other radio stations have. One radio station I program actually plays local acts in prime time. We don't shove it to a Sunday night time slot where no one listens. And the other one has a local awards show, and it has a local showcase, and we've discovered and gotten local bands signed, and there's okay. All right, so I mean, and the thing is, I'm not trying to throw this guy under the bus, but this is a sort of email I get on a regular basis. And if I really am pulling back the curtain on how things work, if I'm pulling back the curtain on how things work in this particular situation, and this is an explanation I've had to give to a bunch of people. If we play something that you don't like and it's new, it's brand new, and it goes away pretty quickly, well, that's on us. That's us going like, hey, we think this song is good. We think that the people that listen to this station who we care about, who are trying to make happy on a regular basis, if we play this song that we think people are going to be into, that's going to make them feel good as they are fighting traffic, going nowhere and nowhere quickly on the way home. We want them to flip on the radio, hear the song, go, man, life ain't so freaking bad. That's what we want to do. We want to add value. We want to give back to a community where we exist. That's the best part of being in radio. You get to add value to a community. I love the fact that I'm a part of different communities around America where I'm on the air, and I get to, in my own small way, leave the world a bit of a better place than I find it every single day. That's what I try to do. Sometimes I succeed, maybe sometimes I don't, but I love the fact that I'm put in a position to do that. That is something I will be eternally grateful for. And if you're a part of my radio family, man, thank you so much for that. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make the world a little bit better a place than how we found it. We're trying to make it so when you switch on your radio as you're fighting traffic, going nowhere quickly on your drive home, the stresses of the day go away a little bit because you hear something that makes you smile or laugh or start your own personal mosh pit behind your steering wheel. That's what we're trying to do. And if we fail to do that, if there's a song that you don't like and it goes away quickly, that's on us. That's our poor judgment call. We thought it would work. It didn't. Okay. But, you know, we're also giving a shot to a musician, trying to make something happen for them as well. That's the other side of the equation. Now, if you hear something that you don't like and you hear it over and over and over again, that's not on us. That's on your neighbor. Because if you hear something over and over again, we basically do what we can to make the most people that listen to us happy as often as possible. Like, so if there's something that you don't hear, blame it on the musical taste of the guy or girl that lives next door to you because they like it. And that's why it's sticking around. So, yeah, that's my... Have I explained this, Funkhauser? You know, like, if you hear something that you don't like, it's really because, you know, the people that you live with in your community are big fans of that.
Yeah, and here's a summary. Shut up.
See, I can't have these conversations. I can't just write back to him and go, shut up.
Why? Do it. I dare you.
I can't. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do that to a listener, someone that is, even in a pointed, aggressive way, a consistent part of my radio family. Can't bring myself to do it. Whether I have a good relationship with this family member,
give me his
or
phone
a rocky
number.
relationship with this family member, I'm grateful for him. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I want to thank you for hanging out, being part of this radio family. You rule. We'll be back tomorrow. Have yourself a great one.
You know how a lot of times you feel like it's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it.